Welcome back, folks. We have the Dow Industrials up 372, Nasdaq's up 106, S&Ps are up 37. Let's go over to our man, Mr. Basil Chapman, as we do each and every Tuesday at 20 past the first hour. Don't forget, folks, Basil has an outstanding show here every trading day, 12 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. Also has a great newsletter, the opening call. The way you can get the opening call, you come over to our website at TFNN. You're going to go right under newsletters. You're going to see the opening call right there. You can check the opening call out. The opening call is $128 a month. You can get it for 6 months for $595, which is a $173 savings. You can get it for a year for $995, which is a savings of $541. They all come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, folks. Check it out on the front page of TFNN. You go into newsletters, and then you go to the opening call. Basil Chapman, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
Very good. We've got right now we're getting our first snowstorm in quite a while.
Oh.
Very little snow this year so far.
I'm telling you, man, it's so hard to comprehend that what has happened here in Florida, folks. It's really crazy. Like, we got March weather about 5 days ago, so it's been 75 and 80 degrees. Like the first day we got it, I thought it was really a bummer because it was like, oh man, it's gonna be this. But then it was like gorgeous. So I saw that in the paper this morning, and it's like, it makes sense. I mean, it's February, right?
Well, this is the first time we've gone this far in February without snow on the ground, yeah.
I know. And I think that's pretty dangerous because I remember my daughter Caitlin calling me from Boston, I think a couple years ago, saying, this is so nice, we haven't gotten it yet. And that was the year that once you got it, it never stopped.
Oh, you remember, that was the very last day of January, and then that February, I think we had 7 or 8 feet.
Exactly.
So, yeah. No. I don't even want to think that. I don't want to think that way.
So we certainly don't have any snow in the market right now.
We've got sunlight here in the market. So this is very interesting. When I spoke to you last Thursday, we had just gone short the Dow via the small position via the DOG. And what I'd said to you is there's this pattern that I look at. It's called the Chapman Wave Stalk Leg Formation. And if I'm correct, there should be a dip to test the 24,860 level. And but the interesting thing was that the MACD, remember I said the MACD hasn't even turned down yet.
Right.
And that says to me that there's still internal strength, and I wasn't sure how it would resolve. And then we got those 2 very sharp days. The Dow actually went right down to the 14-period moving average, hit 24,883, just 20 points away from my target, and then turned around. So we took a break-even trade on that. We have mostly long positions, and the long positions are still doing very well. So what's interesting here is there is a chance that there could be a double top forming here. You could go a little higher, but I'm looking at this, and there's a pattern that I always talk about in the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, when this 9-period differential, this green line in the daily chart, when it crosses sharply lower under the slow moving average, the red line, then you usually get quite a bit of a pullback. But if you deflect higher, then there could be what I call an M formation. So there could be a little shoulder to the right here. And that's saying to me that in time, before we get some kind of a correction, a deeper correction, we've probably got a couple of days to go. So I'm not looking at anything right now. I'm thinking that we're getting some kind of a top forming because the stochastic, you can see, has already gone under 80%. So the signs are there that there's some internal weakness. I just need to let this play out. But it is really interesting. If you look at the weekly chart of the Dow, there was a doji candle, long-legged doji candle. Even though it's a small candle, the wick was quite long in terms of what the little tiny body is. And it was important to see whether or not the following week, that's this coming Friday, there's a close sharply above the high of 25,439. If there is, then you can go into the following week with another high before you pull back. And what's really interesting is that the candle right here, the open and close of last week, which was around about 25,062, that should be some kind of support and so forth that's been holding. So I'm looking at this as really important because it's everything I'm looking at suggests that that low that was made on the 26th of December of 21,712, I just don't know what kind of news it'd have to be to go all the way back down some, what is that, 27, that's 700, yeah, That's 7,000 points. Am I right? 7,000 points?
Yeah.
Surely not. Yeah, 7,000. I mean, yeah, these numbers are going so quickly.
You know, folks, it was a fast move down. You know, when you take a look at it, we're at 26,951 October 2nd, and on the well, it was
December
21. So yeah, well, the Dow went down 55.
19%. Yeah. We're 19% from the high to the low. I mean, that's a pretty decent pullback, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm anticipating that there's going to be a rally, a little bit further, but we will come down and we will be testing the 24,500s at some point, probably in February, I'm thinking. And that's going to be the big test for me. But I just don't see now what is going to take us back to 21,700. So I'm thinking that the real 24,200, 25,700 area is probably maybe a worst case basis. We'll see. But most importantly, we have some stocks that are doing well. Yeah, I've spoken to you about it. We've still got our Bank America. Bank America's up today. It's gone. We along from the 24s. It hit 29s. And now it's in the 28.74 area. I like it. I think the XLF, I wanted to be a leader in this quarter. So far, the XLF, the financials, and I think Bank of America is one of the really good banks within the financials. Look how the financials are holding here. I think the 26.43 area for the XLF is strong resistance. We're at 26.19, but it's showing you that there's a nice trading band between the mid-25s and the mid-26s. We're still long that the medical cannabis stock, MJ, from the 29 area. It hit 38. It's pulled back. We've taken a little bit off, take some profits. Still long. I think this is still a sector that's very interesting. We're very early in its really growth stage. Only an IPO back in 2016.
Yeah,
I think it's definitely.
Basil, and in Massachusetts, pot is legal now, right? Is it recreationally?
Yes, it is.
Recreationally too, right?
It is, and there are just only a handful of stores actually.
Okay.
The ones, it's interesting. There's nothing, and then within about, I think it's maybe an 8 or a 10-mile radius up in Northampton, they have two, and they made, I think it was within a week, they made 4 or 6 million. You know, this is.
So everyone had a ride to Northampton, and folks. That's pretty bizarre.
That student area. I mean, that's the 5 colleges.
Yeah, but that's like a 3-hour drive from Boston, right?
An hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Okay, right.
No, we've got in Boston as well, but those, I think those were the very first to open.
I see. Okay.
So
okay.
I think, you know, there's no question this is probably another growth area. And
especially in Boston with all the students. Oh my God!
You got the students. You got the student population. Of course, they went straight to the 5 colleges out there in the Northampton area.
Right down the street from you.
Yeah. So I'm also looking at. We've got a water products. I don't want to mention the name now because we got it just the other day. A water products company which is doing very nicely. I'm trying to find areas that are also under the radar. So we've got our list, and every time they're very sharp pullbacks, that's what we're looking. We're looking to buy in areas that we think still have a lot of potential for 2019.
And folks, real simple. Get Basil's newsletter. Come over to our website at TFNN. You're going to go right on the newsletters. You're going to see the opening call. You can hit subscribe. You can get it for a month, 6 months, a year, all with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Basil, you have a great one, safe one. Stay warm. Get that shovel out. Don't do too much work.
Correct.